What if I told you that with just $50 a month, less than the cost of one family dinner eating out, you could set your child on the path to becoming a millionaire? No lottery tickets, no get rich quick schemes, just a simple plan that anyone can follow. Imagine your child turning 21 and already having tens of thousands of dollars invested. Now imagine that money growing into $1 million without them ever lifting a finger. Sounds crazy, right? But it's actually just math. And today I'm going to show you exactly how that works. Whether your child is still on the way, already here, or maybe they're even a little older, it's not too late to start. You have the power to completely change their financial future. And it's easier than you think. In the next few minutes, I'm going to break down a simple and proven plan to make your child a millionaire step by step. Stick with me because at the end of this episode, you'll know exactly how to set up the next generation of your life for success. Let's dive in.
Welcome to the Financial Mirror. Where future success is reflected in our knowledge of fixing the one thing we can control, ourselves.
Welcome to the Financial Mirror, and thanks for joining me today as we continue to work to improve the one thing that we can control, ourselves. Here at the Financial Mirror, it is not about the numbers and spreadsheets alone, but about transforming and educating you on money so that you can make smarter financial decisions. If this is the first time you are joining in, don't forget to hit subscribe on YouTube to be notified of all the new episodes as they release. If you're listening to this on Rumble, don't forget to follow the channel and like the video. And on any podcast platform of your choice, don't forget to like and subscribe to the podcast. Now, told you in the intro, $50 a month, you can set your child on a path to being a millionaire. And it's just $50 a month. And they don't have to do anything. They really don't have to do anything if you set them up for success. The earlier you start, the easier this plan is going to be. But even if you're late to the game, you can still make an incredible difference. Today, I want to break this down. It's step by step. It's easy to follow. I'm going to show you the numbers. I'm going to help you set your child up for financial freedom. The key lesson here, is investing early gives your child time. And if you've ever talked to anyone about investing, time is the most powerful factor in wealth building. All the numbers that I'm going to show you today in this episode are assuming a 10% annual return, which historically the S&P 500 averages roughly that over time. That's what we're going to be working on. Now, the key is that it really doesn't matter how old your kid is. I'm going to tell you that up front. What matters more than anything is that you understand what the value of their account needs to be at a certain age. Now, how I'm going to walk through this is starting off with if you're right now anticipating a kid about to be born, or maybe you just had a kid, you could still really kind of flow into this fairly easily. But that's where I'm going to start. And I'm going to go over some numbers. I'm going to look at these things with you. And I want to show you that if you'll follow this very, very, very simple plan, your child will be a millionaire by the time they are 55 years old. Okay. So let's start off with kind of the baby fund, right? So this is assuming that you're listening to this and your child is not born yet, or your child is on the way, or maybe you haven't even got to the point where you're thinking about having a child. This episode is still relevant because you are a prime target to set up your offspring to be millionaires. Okay. So starting with step one, the baby fund. The baby fund is thinking about that. It's before they enter the world, their wealth journey is beginning because you are being deliberate about how you're going to set them up. Now, the key for the baby fund is you need to set aside $500 before they are born. Right? Not $500 a month, not $500 a day, but $500 in total, right? In total. And that is going to help create this amazing foundation for them to be able to be a millionaire by 55. Think about it. At $500 today, it would become 38,000. Like if you just set aside 500 right now, by the time they're 55, it would be $38,000, right? That's even if you never added another dollar. That's crazy, right? That's crazy. $500 in, 45 years or 55 years, excuse me. It would be 38,000 by that time, right? And that's important. That's important to remember. But even if they never add another dollar, but that's okay if you can't set aside $500 all at once, right? Because your kid's not born. Your kid may be you may be 3 months into the whole pregnancy thing. Maybe the kid's not even thought about it yet. I'm not sure. But the idea here is that once baby is ready, and baby exists, go ahead and put $500 aside. Because if you have time, $55 a month for 9 months is going to get you there, right? $55 a month for 9 months will get you there. The idea here is to get $500 in an account before your child's born, right? If you think that you may start trying to have a kid, go ahead and start saving today. By the time you find out, you'll have a head start. But the goal here, step one, $500 before they are born, right? That's it. $500 before they are born. Now, you can go ahead and set that up in a custodial investment account that will allow you to start investing that money into a low-cost index fund like the S&P 500 ETF, like the SPY or something like that. Vanguard has the VOO, like just a very, very simple index fund to start investing into. That is where you can put the $500, okay? $500. Now, that's step one. Step two is the $50 a month Millionaire plan, okay? That's it. After the initial $500, your job as parent is to keep investing $50 a month until they turn 21, okay? Average cost of a family dinner out is $50, right? So sacrifice one in a month and life will be good, right? It's a small sacrifice every month that will pay dividends by the time they're 21, okay? By the time they are 21, they will have saved a decent chunk of change. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up my chart here. So this is from probably one of my favorite compound interest calculators out there, investor.gov. But I just want to show you this, right? Just want to show you this. So if your initial investment is $500 and you put $50 a month in there until they are 21, right? So your initial was $500. That was your baby fund. You're going to do $50 a month for 21 years. I told you this is going to be an assumed 10% interest. That's going to put you at a total of $42,101 by the time they're 21. By the time they're 21, right? So that's crucial. That is truly crucial, because if that's all it takes to get there, that's bananas, right? That's bananas. So the idea here is that if you have gotten them to that much, $42,101, you can stop contributing. That's the magic. The magic behind all of this is at 21, when they're at $42,000, you've done everything you need to do to set them up for success. You have, right? You have, because if we look back at the screen, right? We look back at this screen and we're just going to take this number, right? We're going to take this number and say, this is my initial investment, right? And let's say they don't contribute anything else. And we're going to 55. So that's another 34 years. And we calculate, we're at $1.75 million, $1.075 million at age 55. They didn't touch it. They didn't do anything. You put $50 a month away from the time they were born, and on top of the $500 baby fund, right? From the time they were born, you put $50 a month into an account until they were 21, and then you stopped. You stopped. If they don't touch it, if they let it sit there and don't put a finger on it At 55, they will be millionaires. It's really that easy. It really is. And it works because the earlier this money gets invested, the longer it has to compound. The first few dollars you invest are the most powerful. They do the heavy lifting for decades. So even if your child never adds another dime, they will still be a millionaire. You will still have set your child up for success. And it was that easy, right? It was that easy. But, just continuing this math here and continuing looking at this, let's say that your child did that, but at age 21, they were like, you know what, Mom, Dad, I'm going to keep putting in $25 a month. Well, that's going to put them at a whopping $1.149 million. Okay. So they bumped up almost another $100,000 by them just putting 25 a month. What about them putting 50 a month? That's going to bump them up to $1.222 million. At $50 extra a month, that's going to put them at $1.222 million, right? So what about $250 a month, right? What about $250 a month? It's going to put you at a whopping $1.8 million if they can just do $250 a month. And that means that you did it, right? Good job, Mom. Good job, Dad. You did it. You set your kid up to be a millionaire before they were even 21. At age 21, your child has the roadmap to become a millionaire. The roadmap to become a millionaire. All they have to do is just not touch it. You did everything, right? Great job. But it works. This truly works. But one of the things that I think is really, really important here is that it's not just about the outcome, right? It's not just about the millionaire outcome that happens. What I think is more important is that for 21 years, maybe not, maybe the first few years of life, they have no idea, nor do they care about any of this. But let's say they're 7, let's say they're 8, let's say they're 10. If you had a 10-year-old that you were putting $50 a month into an account for the next 11 years of their life, they're watching that. They're observing. You're sitting down. You're teaching them. You're showing them. You're saying, hey, son, daughter, this is your nest egg. Me and Mom, me and Dad, we're creating this for you, and you are going to be set up ahead of all of your peers because of these efforts right here. Sit down and show them what this is going to be, what this is going to look like. Teach them, coach them, mentor them, because those habits early on in their life, like a 10-year-old sitting there and watching their money grow, not able to touch it, watching their money grow, it will instill the habits they need to accelerate their wealth building later in life. And all they're seeing is just those small, consistent contributions, right? Small, consistent contributions. So you can see it's a 2-step process here. $500 before they're born, $50 a month until they're 21. That's it. $500 before they're born, $50 a month until they're 21. Okay. But let's kind of go into my next phase. Quote unquote, my kids are already born. What now? What do I do now? If you're just hearing this and your child's already here, that's okay. It's really okay. Yes, you do have some catching up to do, but it's completely possible to set them up for success. The key here is to understand how you can best accomplish setting them up. If you think about it, your kid is, and we can just go off totals, and the idea here is to get you back on track. So let's go back to our little handy dandy calculator here, and let's say if you were doing this setup, here's how you would set this up. Let's say your kid, you say, I got my $500 initial baby fund. We're doing $50 a month and my 10% interest rate. And let's say my kid is 1, right? All you're going to do is put length of time, put how old your kid is, and hit calculate, right? This means that if my kid was 1, I should have $1,150 in an account. That means that I need to get my kid, I can start putting $50 a month in, but right now, if my kid's 1, I need a total of $1,150 in there. So if you can take this year's tax refund and drop it in an account and have an $1,150 account sitting there, you're on track. Just start putting 50 in it every month. You're back on track. What if your kid is, I don't know, 2, right? You need $1,865 in an account. And then just start putting $50 a month in there. That's all you need to do. If your kid is a certain age, 8 years old, maybe, you just calculate and say, hey, if my kid's 8, if I want to be on track for this plan, I need $7,933 in an account, right? That's it. The older they get, obviously the more you're going to need to invest upfront to get the same result. But it's okay. It's okay if you can't catch up fully. I encourage you to still do this plan. I encourage you. Think about coming up a little short, right? Think about you didn't watch this episode. You didn't listen to this podcast. You didn't hear this information. Your child, if you weren't going to start investing like this, because I mean, this isn't some novel idea, right? All this is start telling you to start early and giving you some exact numbers to start with to make your kid a millionaire. That's all it is. This isn't a novel idea. But what I'm trying to tell you is that let's say you come up a little short and your kid has $800,000. Can we complain? That's $800,000 and they haven't even invested anything yet. They haven't even built any of their retirement yet. They will be okay because they're going to see the habits. They're going to see mom and dad doing this. They're going to see their money growing. They're going to have all these things that they're going to do. So if you can't front load all the cash, don't stress. The real value is showing your child the power of investing. And through this effort, they will learn that. They will learn it. So even if you start late, they will see the magic of compound growth and they are more likely to invest on their own later in life. It's true. So the bigger lesson here is if your kid's not here, you are prime time ready to execute this plan. If your kid is here, that's fine. Figure out if it's possible to catch up all at once. Maybe you can, in 1 month, you can say, you know what? I'm going to cut back on spending this month and I'm going to get that $1,150 in an account because my child's 1 and I want to get caught up so I can only put aside $50 a month. Go for it. The most important thing is figure out what it is and go knock it out because it's not about the money. It's the lessons. It's the lessons that your kid's going to get watching this account. It's the lessons your kid's going to get watching this grow. It's the lessons your kid's going to get when they're talking to their friends and they're, 18 years old and they have thousands and thousands of dollars sitting in an investment account. Those are the lessons that are going to matter the most because when kids see the money growing, they're more likely to keep investing when they're older. They're more likely to learn about financial literacy. They're more likely to pass these habits on to their kids, creating generational wealth for your family, right? So get your kids involved, right? Show them the investment account every year. Show them every 6 months. I don't think I would stick to showing a child every month. They won't really feel the impact if let's say the account grew by $200, right? And it may not be worth it, right? Maybe it only grew $50. You know your child. I'm not telling you that every child is the same, but seeing those large growth phases in that investment account will be really, really awesome. So let them pick out the fund they want to go into. SPY, VOO, it doesn't matter. Like let your child pick. Say, hey, I want to sit down and show you these. I know that we've got you invested in these. What do you think about this investment? Maybe your kid's, 4 and you're playing catch up. Sit down and get them involved. Teach them the power of free money from compounding. That's what I encourage you to do. So it's a very small sacrifice, but it is a life-changing outcome when you can take $50 a month and invest it and your kid become a millionaire. And that was the last thing that I wanted to show. That was the last thing I wanted to show on the website is the interesting part, because most people are like, well, I don't have the extra money, right? I don't have the extra money. I want to show you how much of this $1 million is due to an individual putting money in, right? Putting money in. What this chart down here at the bottom shows is the blue line is total contributions. The reddish line is your future value. Here's what most people fail to realize about this whole scenario. $500, $50 a month for the first 21 years of your child's life. Do you know how much you contributed as a parent in those in that whole time, the whole investment, 500 plus the 50 and 21 years? You contributed $13,000, $13,100, and your child's a millionaire. You're making a $13,000 investment into your kid's future, and your child's a millionaire. That's it. That's it. You probably are investing more into your 401k right now than $13,000, right? Especially if you're doing catch-up contributions or something like that, right? Your $13,000 savings, man, you contributed that to their future, and they're going to be millionaires for it. And they don't have to do anything. It's bananas. I'm telling you, it's bananas, but it works. It works. $13,000 and your kid's a millionaire. $13,000 and your kid's a millionaire. So you don't need to be rich to make your kid a millionaire. $13,000. You just need to start early. You need to stay consistent. That's all it takes. It really is. And there's more than one way to skin this cat. I know. I got it. I could put together 15 other plans just like this. And maybe that's something you need. Maybe you need a plan. Say, hey, my kid's 7. What can I do? I want to make my kid a millionaire. What do I do? I can't save $7,000. What do I do? I guarantee you there's a way to build a plan to make it feasible and manageable to your life. Remember, we're only contributing $13,000 if you start early. It will be more. For someone that's playing catch up, it will be more because you lost what? Time, right? You lost time. So I challenge you. This is something that I really want to get this out to everyone. I really do, because if you can take $13,000 and invest it over 21 years of your child's life and they become millionaires, I think you could offer that to anyone and they would say, absolutely. Absolutely. Why not? Right? So if you don't mind, share this episode with a parent, share this episode with someone that's expecting a child, share this episode with someone that has young kids, share this episode with people that just want to be proactive about their finances, because I'm telling you, I want people to hear this. I want people to have a plan. I want people to be motivated to save for their child and change the trajectory of their family's financial future. So open an account for your child today. That's the first step. Figure out what that catch up is. If you need to catch up, if your child's not born yet, or maybe fairly young, and you're like, you know what, I'm just going to do the $50 a month until they're 22 or 23 to play catch up. That's just fine. Do it. It's just fine. But keep it simple. Invest, be consistent, and let time do the work. That's really what we're talking about here. It's really what we're talking about. So thanks for watching. Stay smart with your money. I'll see you next episode. But I challenge you, share this with someone today. If you're getting started, throw it in the comment section. Let me know. Say, hey, I'm in. Say, I'm all in, man. I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to make my kid a millionaire. Leave that in the comment section, because I want people to be motivated and ready to make their kids' financial futures change. So let's get to it. I really hope you enjoyed the episode and got something out of it. But till next week, continue improving the one thing you can control: yourself. Peace.
Well, that wraps up today's Financial Mirror. Join us next week as we continue to work on ourselves, change our mentality, and to commit to achieving the success we always envisioned. Regardless of your platform, help us grow as a community. Please like, subscribe, and share with the people in your lives.